bright lights of Boston, the echo of its championship banners, and two stars locked in a high-stakes mission. Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown are more than just players. They're the heartbeat of a franchise that's waiting, aching for their next title. For Tatum, it's all about proving that his elite talent isn't wasted in the shadow of what could have been. For Brown, it's about finally stepping into the role he's always dreamed of, a true superstar in his own right. But here's the catch: two stars, one team, and a championship window that's narrowing with each passing season. The potential is definitely off the charts, and the expectations are sky high. But what happens when the weight of those expectations start to feel like a burden? Are they destined to be one of the best duos the NBA has ever seen? Or would they fall short of what could have been one of the greatest partnerships in basketball history? Before we explore the pressure, let's rewind and look at how these two stars got to this point, the paths they've walked to get here, and the challenges they've overcome to lead the Boston Celtics. For Tatum, it wasn't supposed to be this way. In 2017, Danny Ainge traded the number 1 pick to the 76ers, getting the number 3 pick in return. Before then, Boston had already lived through the Kyrie Irving era and the aftermath of the Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett era. With that pick, the Celtics selected a young Jayson Tatum, a 6'8" forward who was more than just a scorer.
Third pick in the 2017 NBA Draft, the Boston Celtics select Jayson Tatum.
His poise, smooth jumper, and all-around game were the pieces Boston needed to get back to the top. Tatum wasn't just the future of the franchise, he was Boston's new face, and by his second year, he was already a star. Tatum went on to become a 3-time All-Star, All-NBA First Team, and MVP candidate. His 25.2 PPG, 8.1 RPG, and 4.4 APG show why the pressure to win is so heavy. But despite all this talent, the 2022 finals show that his greatness wasn't enough to secure a ring. A loss raised the stakes. Tatum can't just be great, he needs to finish the job. And while Tatum was the face of the Celtics, Jaylen Brown wasn't far behind. Drafted in 2016, Brown's rise to prominence was more gradual, but no less impressive.
With the third pick in the 2016 NBA Draft, the Boston Celtics select Jaylen Brown.
He didn't have the immediate impact Tatum did, but his work ethic, motor, and defensive ability made him one of the league's top two-way players. When Brown plays without Tatum, he averages 28 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists. Those are MVP-level numbers. Brown is no longer just a compliment to Tatum. He's a superstar in his own right, ready to step into the leadership role when needed. But the question remains, can he handle the spotlight and push the Celtics to a championship? From the beginning, the synergy between Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown was undeniable. They weren't just two players with individual talent. They were an evolving force, complementing each other in ways that elevated the entire Boston Celtics. But their journey to greatness wasn't without their defining moments. Those moments when they came together as a duo, not just as individual stars. Let's start with the 2022 NBA Final run. The 2022 NBA Finals were the ultimate test, not just for Tatum and Brown, but for the entire Celtics franchise. The Celtics faced off against the Golden State Warriors, a team seasoned in the ways of the finals. Tatum carried the team with his clutch shots, his 21.5 PPG, 7.4 RPG, and 7.0 APG in the series. But his inconsistency, particularly his 37.7% shooting from the field, was the Achilles heel. Meanwhile, Jaylen Brown stepped up big time. He finished the series with 23.5 PPG and 7.3 RPG, often leading the charge when Tatum struggled. Brown's defensive play, his ability to score efficiently, and his leadership on the floor were key factors in the Celtics' fight. Despite their best efforts, however, the Warriors' experience and shooting depth proved too much, and Boston came up short. The loss was tough, but it wasn't the end. It became a defining learning experience for both players. Tatum knew he had to elevate his game under pressure, while Brown proved that when called upon, he could step into the limelight. The 2022 finals weren't the crowning achievement the duo hoped for, but they were the start of something bigger. When we talk about signature games, we talk about moments where Tatum and Brown stepped into their roles and dominated the court together. It was the night Tatum dropped 50 points against the Washington Wizards, a performance that showed just how much of a scoring machine he could be. But then there was Brown, stepping up with his own 40-point explosion in a high-stakes matchup. Both players proved time and again that they didn't need to play second fiddle to each other. Tatum's 50-point game was a display of his offensive ability, hitting everything from deep threes to clutch layups. Brown, on the other hand, in games like his 50-point performance against the Orlando Magic, showed his versatility and ability to dominate on both ends of the floor. They weren't just scoring, they were controlling the game. And when they were both firing on all cylinders, the Celtics became nearly impossible to stop. Their breakthrough moments have come and gone, but now the question remains, can Tatum and Brown take the next step? Can they finally break through the playoff barrier and claim the elusive championship? The potential is clear. Tatum's elite scoring and Brown's two-way brilliance give Boston one of the most versatile duos in the league, capable of leading the Celtics to the top. But as you know, talent alone hasn't been enough to clinch the ultimate prize. The 2022 finals proved that despite their individual brilliance, Tatum's inconsistency in crucial moments and the Warriors' experience were factors that kept them from winning. The biggest challenge ahead for Tatum and Brown is maintaining playoff consistency, both in their performance and in their ability to close out games. Another hurdle is leadership under pressure. Both have shown flashes of being leaders, but the actual test is whether they can carry the team through adversity when it matters most. The Celtics need them to elevate their games in the postseason, particularly in high-stakes situations. Looking at other modern duos like Giannis and Lillard, LeBron James and Luka Doncic, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Chet Holmgren, Tatum and Brown still have a lot to prove, but there's something that sets them apart, and it's their all-around ability to dominate both offensively and defensively. The challenge remains. Can they push through and lead Boston to a championship? With the championship potential laid out and the challenge is clear, the next question on everyone's mind is, what's next for the Celtics dynamic duo? Can they make the adjustments they need in the coming seasons? Or are they destined to fall short of the championship glory everyone knows they're capable of? And after another brutal Eastern Conference war in 2025, that question has never mattered more. The clock is ticking, but this time, Tatum and Brown aren't chasing ghosts anymore. They've proven that they can lead Boston deep into the playoffs, but can they finish the job? The 2025 playoffs gave us another chapter in this duo story. After a strong regular season, during which the Celtics once again finished near the top of the Eastern Conference standings, all eyes were on whether this would finally be the year. They dominantly opened the postseason, steamrolling the Orlando Magic in 5 games, but in the next round, Boston ran into a gritty, relentless New York Knicks squad in the Eastern Conference semifinals. Jayson Tatum came out firing, averaging 28.1 points, 11.5 rebounds, and 5.4 assists across the playoffs, including a monster 37-point, 14-rebound performance against the Knicks. His ability to take over games in key moments was undeniable. Jaylen Brown wasn't far behind, putting up 22.1 points, 7.1 rebounds, and 3.9 assists, and delivering critical two-way plays when the Celtics needed them most. His physicality on defense and leadership in clutch moments were the backbone of the team. Together, they powered the Celtics through another deep run. But falling short of the finals again means the questions aren't going away. The narrative is no longer about whether Tatum and Brown can win games. It's about whether they can finally close a title run. This time around, at least, there's an excuse for Jayson getting injured in one of the games that mattered the most.
And Tatum is hurt. Tatum is down. He wants a timeout. Tatum in so much pain.
But there is literally no one to blame for the injury. And as you know, I don't think the fans would have so much patience again, because looking at it, the team is done a good job. I mean, they have doubled down on this duo. There's Brown's Supermax contract that locks him in, but the issue may be the roster tweaks to give them the proper support. Another question that arises, does the front office stick with the core or make bold moves to stay ahead of rising competition? And don't forget that the East isn't getting any easier. Teams like the Bucks and Knicks are knocking on the door. If Tatum and Brown want to deliver banner 19, they'll need to keep evolving, sharpening their chemistry, growing as leaders, and learning how to close under pressure consistently. Right now, the window's open. Tatum and Brown are in their primes, but so are their rivals. They can turn lessons from another hard-fought playoff run into fuel. This Celtics team could be on the verge of greatness, but if they stumble again, Boston may have to ask the most challenging question of all. Will this duo ever get them all the way there? So, to put it, Tatum and Brown are battle-tested, but their greatest challenge is still ahead of them. So what do you think? Will Tatum and Brown rise to the occasion, or are they destined to fall short? Will they stay together for years to come, or will this dynamic duo be broken apart? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit like if you're ready for the next chapter, and don't forget to subscribe for more NBA breakdowns because this story is just getting started.